worry about the future and wonder what it might hold in store? Maybe sometimes find it hard to sleep at night. What if what the future holds in store is so profoundly different that to even think and worry and wonder about it is to bring one of those old computers that use punch cards, right, into a quantum lab? Consider this. What if the future is created now? And our job is to awaken, to remember ourselves as the ones who create the future from the present, rather than standing in the present, informed by the past, wondering what lies ahead. I believe we're living into exactly a future as abstract and mind-boggling as the little taste of it I've given you right now. If you follow astrology at all, you may be astounded at how specific we can be about the energies that are going to converge and form the template for our world going forward. A planet called Pluto, which I'm sure you've heard of, which is associated with death, rebirth, and profound change. It's a good planet, but it strips away everything that isn't real. So it can be a little tough. And people who don't want to feel their feelings or move through experiences tend to get stuck in Pluto moments. Pluto would essentially be Hades, Lord of the Underworld. Well, Pluto is entering the sign of Aquarius starting next year. Aquarius is about universal ideas, information, universal brotherhood. It's a very mental, it's an air sign. Okay? When Pluto enters Aquarius throughout history, we have profound revolutions, the likes of which never existed before. The last time Pluto entered Aquarius was around the American Revolution. That was a big one. And so what we're entering into in this coming year is, in a sense, the end of the old America and the rebirth of a bold new cycle. Now, Pluto, this badass Hades merchant of change, in 2008 entered Capricorn. Capricorn is the sign of the devil in tarot. It entered right around when Obama got elected and the economy tanked for what it ended up being a very profound period lasting up until now, in which business as we know it has changed. And the foundations of the earth, which is what Capricorn deals with, right, have been unsettled. Now we go into an air sign on this unsteady earth, where now the mental aspects, the beliefs of the past are going to experience the same crumbling. It's going to be a bit like glass, some invisible ceiling is shattering, that was blocking your mind from accessing the pure light of what you might call a universal archetypal truth of spirit, what you might call a 6D reality. And this is much like enlightenment or awakening, and surely there will be a much awakening that happens. But it also is akin to madness, because people's organizing systems of their minds, when crumbling in the face of a world where even time itself can't be taken for granted, where the basic models of cause and effect are inverted, this leads to eruptions from the unconscious of deeply repressed emotions, traumatic memories of a personal nature, and even breaking through into memories of a collective nature. Because the nature of the light that now shines through our unconscious as Pluto enters Aquarius is of the collective. The self that we are, that's one with the collective. Now, I went through my own sort of interesting Pluto and Aquarius back in 2012 when I entered the voice code and the light flooded my mind. And eventually I allowed that light in and developed some technologies from this map of the mind until it flushed out the Capricornian devil from my unconscious. And then I spent pretty much all the years up until 2023 learning how to anchor in that, quote, devil power and use it for the light. By the way, Pluto would be associated with the Tower card in the major arcana in tarot, and Aquarius would be associated with the Star card, which is a beautiful card of healing. So what we have coming in these years ahead is a tower that shatters how we normally think and most of what we believed, but does so to let in a healing light that feels almost otherworldly. Now, what is the purpose of that light? I personally think it's so that we can all ultimately do, and much more efficiently, what I ended up doing on the way here, which is harness that light to uproot that which binds us in our unconscious, that aspect of ourselves that some call the devil, but that may actually be the secret to merging love and power and being loving without being weak in the name of service, in the name of growth and evolution of mankind. Now, there's one bit of advice that I would give to you when considering all this. Be very observant of the questions you ask yourself and what they seem to imply about the world you're living in. And when you look at your questions, see if you can trace them back to the emotions that live beneath them. What do you fear and desire that gives rise to your thinking? Get into your fears and desires and emotions and see if you can bring awareness and acceptance to them. Because we're living into an era of free thinking, so free that a lot of people will go mad if they're not prepared. Or they'll settle for dogmatic, bureaucratic controls, centralized governments, things that can do the thinking for them as they become robots. Begin to ask questions that unravel your own emotional blind spots. And begin practicing bringing awareness and acceptance to those emotions. These practices, while perhaps not necessary for survival in the old world, Pluto underground in the earth, are definitely necessary for survival in a world where the top of our heads essentially cracks open and the light of healing tries to get in, but we see it through the prism of our fear of uncertainty, of our desire for certainty so strong that we cling to worry rather than release it and step in to the beautiful simplicity, the creative urgency of now, which lives in uncertainty. And there, if we've done the work to bring hidden into the light and give it a hug and allow it to be slowly dissolved and transmuted, if we've done that work, then those shatterings will be nothing short of liberations that bring us closer and closer to our power. That Hades power, that devil power, is now available to be claimed and put to good use, not for division, not to set rules, control one another, rather to be God on earth, as was Christ. And you, too, shall do this, because Christ is who we are when we bridge that higher light with that darker light of the earth. When we bridge matter and spirit in the heart, that is what the Christ is. It's the creation that comes of the merging of spirit and matter. And all around you, people will no doubt be polarizing into camps that either worship the material and deny the spiritual, afraid of that light and what it shines, and they're unconscious that they've judged unlovable. Or they'll try to escape into that light and avoid this earth due to the darkness they see. And you, having done this work, will be leading the way. You'll be following your calling, which is primarily to be who you are and let your light shine, to be happy, and to let your actions flow from this so that you can radiate that light with power and demonstrate your power as love in action. And then the Pluto and Aquarius revolution, the Renaissance we see before us, will be one that you realize you were called to lead. It will be one of a truly great awakening in which you help these two camps harmonize, just as you've harmonized these forces within yourself. And call it what you will, my friends, but